Good morning. I was wondering if each of the mayors could talk a little bit about your transportation priorities, particularly on the public transportation side, because we know that's a really important topic to the future working population, millennium, and businesses.
Yeah, public transportation, I mean, is critical for purposes of equity, it's critical for purposes of business, and it's without a doubt an item that we all should be united around. Whether it's going to the state legislature, lobbying the city council, or the county, or the metropolitan council, this is an issue that's absolutely critical. And the reality is that we collectively are kind of far behind. Yes, we need to be building out light rail. Yes, we need to be looking at additional and innovative transportation options. Something that I think is often overlooked is bus rapid transit, is BRT. And right now in Minneapolis, we have lines that are very slowly moving forward, but are absolutely critical to our overall city's infrastructure and our social infrastructure as well. You can't expect somebody to take on a job that they can't get to. And that's a major problem right now. Many people don't have that ability. So expanding BRT service, working with some of the other different jurisdictions in the area, and also kind of moving away from the not in my backyard mentality that sometimes we fall victim to. So there are some substantial opportunities there, and I'll turn it over to Mayor Carter, see if you want to add anything.
The question is really core to why I started in politics in the first place. 10 years ago, we as a community were looking at building a light rail line on University Avenue, and we were going to build it at one point in time in a way that actually hopscotched the neighborhood that I once represented on the city council, and that wasn't acceptable. I felt like it's critical to have transit. Back then, we talked a lot about the way you can look at a map now of the United States and see the places where the railroad tracks went, right? Because that's where economic activity is concentrated. And the same patterns are presenting themselves right now. As we talked about how we position St. Paul and the Twin Cities for the best future, it's intriguing because you're right. We have kind of a fear around transit. We have a fear around bike lanes. We have a fear around some of these things that I believe are going to be some of the most important things my children and our children look for when they decide where to plant their businesses. And so, having that investment, I think, is absolutely critical. Right now in St. Paul, we have parts of our city on the east side and on the west side that you can drive downtown in 5 minutes, but it takes 30 or 40 minutes to get to on transit. That is a jobs problem. That is an economic development problem for our city. So our first priority is going to be focused on getting Riverview Corridor done to connect downtown St. Paul to the airport by rail. That's something that's going to be important, I think, for our entire metro area. Making sure that as we build out bus rapid transit, that we're building that kind of transit system that's not sort of the plan B for people who don't have a car, but really understanding that, as Mayor Frey was talking about the millennials who are an increasing percentage of our workforce, there are more and more people who would prefer to be on high-quality transit than to be in a car, and we have to accommodate those folks. So for me, it's about building that rail. It's about making sure that our just regular bus service is connected to our whole city and serving our whole city well. And even beyond that, it's really not about transit as much as it's about moving people across our city. So that connects our complete street strategy, which means transit, bikes, pedestrian friendly, and a city that's great for cars.